This is the AEW Dynamite November 27, 2024 full show results video which takes place at WinTrust Arena in Chicago. The Hurt Syndicate make their entrance and get in the ring to get on the mic, and MVP begins, saying since they're in Chicago he has an appropriate sports analogy that would have flown over my head even if I didn't have a migraine. But anyway, tonight is about the Syndicate and the lessons that they teach. When MVP offers you his business card, that's a golden ticket to changing your life for the better. But if you're like Shane "Swerve" Strickland and you're not terribly smart and your youthful exuberance has metastatized into arrogance, it makes your life worse, and gets your ass kicked by Bobby Lashley at Full Gear, of which we get a clip played. He says Swerve is an amazing young man and a former world champion, but he's not the most dangerous man in AEW, because that's Bobby Lashley. Lashley is walking Armageddon and they are merchants of misery and purveyors of pain, and tonight the standard of excellence is going to show everyone that, what do? They hurt people. Then we saw a Continental Classic Blue League match between Mark Briscoe versus Shelton Benjamin, and the result of this match was Shelton Benjamin defeated Mark Briscoe by pinfall with an Exploder-style powerslam, earning 3 points in the Continental Classic for a total of 3 points. Back from the commercial, Tony Schiavone introduces Mercedes Mone for an interview on the stage. Mercedes says her match against Chris Statlander being named Women's Match of the Year feels like money, and she puts Chris over before saying she's the greatest TBS champion of all time, and she showed the world how a real woman gets the job done right, and since Kamille can't get anything right, she wanted to tell her. Kamille grabs the mic and tells her to shut up. She asks if Mone is stupid or dumb and says she can't fire her because she quits, and she walks off as Mercedes goes apoplectic. Then we saw a match between Chris Jericho versus Tomohiro Ishii for the ROH World Championship, and the result of this match was Chris Jericho defeated Tomohiro Ishii by pinfall with the Judas Effect, retaining the ROH World Championship. We then head to the back, where Renee Paquette is having a conversation with Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. Max Caster then shows up and chuckles, and a verbal confrontation ensues between himself and Strickland. Strickland then tosses Caster on top of a road case and beats him down. Tony Schiavone then introduces Hangman Adam Page, and Page makes his way down to the ring to address the AEW fans. Tony Schiavone starts off by addressing Page's loss to Switchblade Jay White and Christian Cage's attempted cash-in of his contract for an AEW World Championship match at Full Gear. Page shows his anger towards Cage and Cage being unable to cash in due to a deal the two had, then says that the AEW World Championship is and always will be his. Jay White's music then hits and he makes his way out, and White brags about defeating Page twice and says he is willing to face him in the ring again, but Pac pulls him out of the ring and Wheeler Yuta blindsides Page. White then fights off Pac and Yuta, but Marina Shafir attacks him from behind, but White then gains the upper hand against Shafir and looks to hit the Blade Runner on her, but Jon Moxley locks in a sleeper on him. The Death Riders then delivers some stomps on White and leave the ringside area. Then we saw a Continental Classic Gold League match between Claudio Castagnoli versus Ricochet, and the result of this match was Claudio Castagnoli defeated Ricochet by pinfall with a lariat, earning 3 points for a total of 3 points. We then head to the back, where Renee Paquette is interviewing Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis about how they seem to be on a mission to destroy Will Ospreay. Callis says that's what people do to get ahead, and then talks about how they decimated Ospreay. Callis then says they are just getting started, and Fletcher then says he is better than Ospreay in every way, and then says the Continental Classic belongs to him. The Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett, then make their way down to the ring. Cole starts off by saying he is tired of playing the game with MJF, and then says if MJF is half the man he claims to be then he will fight him, but he's a little bitch. Cole then says he will beat MJF within an inch of his life once he gets his hands on him. Kyle O'Reilly's music then hits and he makes his way down to the ring, and O'Reilly says Cole fought MJF and it didn't work out, and that's why they are in this situation. O'Reilly then asks Cole to let him fight MJF. Cole then says he doesn't want his friends to fight his battles, but O'Reilly then says he's doing it for Roderick Strong. MJF then appears on the big screen and is playing a piano and says he thought long and hard for the last 20 seconds about both men waiting to fight him, and the answer is no. MJF then says he is focused on the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royale taking place next week. Cole then says he is entering the Battle Royal, and O'Reilly then grabs the mic and says he is also entering the Battle Royal. Cole and O'Reilly then bickers for a moment, and then O'Reilly leaves the ring. Then we saw International Women's Cup qualifying match between Jamie Hayter versus Queen Aminata, and the result of this match was Jamie Hayter defeated Queen Aminata by pinfall with Haterade. After the match, the lights go out as a spotlight appears on the entrance ramp. Hayter awaits the arrival of Julia Hart, but Hart doesn't show up. We then see Renee Paquette having a sit-down interview with Mina Shirakawa about her friendship with AEW Women's World Champion the Glamour Mariah May and May betraying her at Full Gear. Shirakawa says she hoped it'd be different, but this is the real Mariah May, and she'll introduce her to the real Mina Shirakawa. Mariah May appears behind Shirakawa and cracks a champagne bottle across her spine, then whips her with her AEW Women's World Championship and tells her that she wants Mina. Then we see no official match poster between Mariah May vs Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship 2 weeks after At Winter Is Coming episode. In the main event of the show, we saw a Continental Classic Gold League match between Brody King vs Darby Allin, and the result of this match was Brody King defeated Darby Allin by pinfall with a Ganso bomb, earning 3 points for a total of 3 points. Post-match, Claudio Castagnoli arrives, chair in hand, but Brody King puts himself between him and Darby Allin and the show goes off the air.